My name is Peter Bruninger.
My name is Terry Arinci. We're with AV Showrooms.
And we're here to do Reviewer's View of the New York Audio Show. Terry, kick it off. What's your overview of the show? What did you think overall of the show?
It was a small, what I would call a boutique show.
In fact, I think it was 26 rooms, and actual exhibit rooms, I think was more like 20. Some of those rooms, like one room had a cable connector company, and they were just a static display. They had tabletops. They were showing their different connectors that OEMs could purchase or DIY users. So that doesn't really count as an exhibit room to listen to music and to hear fine audio equipment. But you're indeed correct. The smaller the show, the more the head count in each of the rooms.
Yeah, and the exhibitors looked happy.
They were very happy.
And so did the attendees. And from my perspective, it was great because we only had a small handful of rooms to cover. I liked where it was. It's 2 miles from Greenwich, Connecticut, right in the small town of Rye in Westchester County, a very beautiful area of the world. Mm-hmm. And the hotel was labeled a resort hotel because it stood on these numerous amount of acres. I don't know how many.
It was
in Westchester
huge.
County.
Yeah, it was a huge amount of
and
acreage.
it was fun.
Yeah.
And the show was fun, and the rooms, for the most part, sounded good.
Yep, for the most part, they did sound good. And it was the hotel was set up. It has a little conference area, and then beyond the conference area is another wing to the hotel, and that housed the audio exhibit. So it really was nifty because we were away from the main part of the hotel, so we weren't bothering other guests, and we kind of had our own little area to ourselves. And I think that itself made for a nice, good, intimate feel. You would come down the one hall, make a right, and then the larger exhibit rooms were there. And the first thing I noticed, and you can't miss it, was Jeff Roland. Jeff Roland was standing there. I thought, this is great. Jeff Roland supporting his dealers here. He's coming east to really establish a good, strong presence here at the New York show. And that was one of the first rooms I went in. And I'll tell you, Lawrence Audio, loudspeakers. Guys, you know these speakers, they have the shape of a musical instrument like a big violin, and the sound was smooth and big and real. And Jeff was showing his new integrated amplifier, the Damon. Now, we shot good video of that at Rocky Mountain, but this video, you can really see behind the unit. At Rocky, it was sitting in a shelf, but here it was out on display on the floor, so you could see the multitude of inputs on it. And this is indeed a switching amplifier, but it had no sound of a switching amplifier. It sounded like music in that room. There was an outstanding exhibit room. I couldn't even get in the sweet spot of the whole show.
Very busy.
Because it was so crowded. I think Saturday especially. Another room.
Well, I'm going to start with one of my favorite rooms at the show, which was Bill DeMar's Beauty of Sound.
I love that room.
Bill DeMar's has taken a blank canvas and has created an exquisitely exotic musical experience with some of the most beautiful equipment, both orally and visually.
I mean, Bill's room it had organic warmth to it. The Bastani open baffle loudspeakers.
Open bass baffle.
Yeah, and an open bass baffle on the speaker itself, on the lower part of the speaker. I mean, it was just filling the room with top to bottom dynamics. It was wonderful. And it was just organic in its holographic imaging, and the music just rolled over. We played Serra Una Noche, and all the listeners in the room were spellbound. You'll hear it in the video. It's one of the best sonic videos we've shot, so I encourage you, look at that video. Encourage you.
Well, I've got to say, too, that when we came into the room on Sunday, the guys were doing a shootout between Dave Slagle's 52 band.
52 band. Now, that's not 50 watts. It's like 3 watts or 2 watts.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the 50, right?
The 50 is the model number of the tube.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
And then versus Bill DeMar's is Whammerdine. I think it's pronounced Whammerdine.
Yeah, the Whammerdine. It's a 2A3 amplifier.
Right.
And that was very interesting because one had a little bit more bass control, the other had a little bit more magic. It's interesting how that trade-off sometimes happens.
Well, you asked me when we were sitting there, Terry, which one do you like better? And my answer was, I don't know. Because the sound was so great and so beautiful that I think it would depend on the song. Because I think Slagle's amp had a little more warmth in the mid-range,
Mhm.
and the Warmadine or Warmadine was more revealing.
Mhm.
So it would depend on the track you're playing, I think.
Another room that stood out for me was the Soundsmith room. And all I can say is small speakers, huge sound. I mean, you walked into the room and the room was wall to wall music. I found and that's the second time I've heard that system, his small format loudspeakers, sound like that. It was Capitol Audio Fest 2 years ago. I believe they won a Gold Show Award. Very, very good sound in the Soundsmith room. Of course, what the turntable was.
Oh, VPI.
Of course. Yeah.
Peter Letterman.
Yeah, of course. VPI
Yeah.
turntable.
Yeah, he always does such a nice job in his
Yeah,
rooms.
yeah, he sure does. How about another room?
Oh, another biggie for me. The Gamut room.
Yep,
Wes Bender's
Yep.
studio
yep.
had an exhibit room with Gamut electronics and Gamut loudspeakers. These little loudspeakers, I'm telling you guys, these are worth a listen.
Yep.
Michael Vamos, the distributor in North America, was in attendance. He did such a great job giving a very small but concise talk about how his dealers set up the speakers in your home. I thought it was really well done, very professional.
Yeah.
They played Santana's Abraxas. It was unbelievable.
It was
the
amazing.
Bass.
The bass. Now the
On these
speakers
tiny
are only
speakers.
this big.
And it
And-
wasn't stupid bass. Like there's the mid-range, there's the tweeter, and then the bass is over here. It was beautifully integrated.
I love it.
It was natural. It was natural, and it was, I think, one of the best rooms at the show.
I love it. So Terry Aringi, new phrase for us audiophiles,
What?
stupid bass. Where,
Oh, yeah.
in other
Real
words, the bass
smart
isn't
phrase.
connecting with everything else. Well put.
Move on.
Move on.
You're next.
You're next. Give me another room.
Oh, Adirondack Audio.
Yeah, Adirondack Audio.
A new discovery for both of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
Jason Tavares
Mhm.
was there, who was a proprietor of the audio dealership.
Yeah, they were. Jason was over in Munich with us this year. While he was looking at the same exhibits we were looking at, he saw the Soul Line turntable in Munich, and we saw it too. And when we did see it, I didn't ask what the retail on the turntable was, but it ends up that he's able to bring in this. It really looks like a state-of-the-art contender for $4,000, and you'll see that in the video. And a big shout out to Adirondack Audio. They're opening up a four-appointment
Well, they
showroom.
just opened.
Yeah, just opened in New York City, a four-appointment showroom.
Yes,
Uh,
appointment only.
Yep, they had the Triangle representative from France was there
Mm-hmm.
with their flagship loudspeakers. You'll see it in the video. The video is actually, it's been up for about a week now, so go take a look. You'll have to go back and cycle through and click on it. You've got to see this video because that turntable.
The turntable
Wow.
is very, very, one of the most interesting things at the show.
Yeah, yeah, I
For
would
the
have
price,
to. Yeah, let's just interrupt right now. It's my takeaway, take-home show product. I really would.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Uh-oh. So
That was
you
mine.
What's? Oh no!
another room, Audio Classics. It was great meeting Steve Rowell.
Yeah, Steve founded Audio Classics in the basement of a post office, and I forget the town in New York where he said he started, and it's grown and grown over the years. You'll see in the video we have a screenshot of several of the listening rooms at Audio Classics at their location up in Binghamton, New York, and it's I'll tell you. Vestal, New York. That's the name of the post office. Vestal, New York post office. And you'll see this is Macintosh. This is a sea of Macintosh equipment
Yes.
in that room.
Total eye candy.
Total eye candy. Total eye candy. How about another room?
I really liked Audio Note very, very much on Friday.
On Friday. I'm going to agree with that. On Friday. We came into the Audio Note room on Friday. Vanessa Fernandez on the turntable. And it was very dynamic and real and punchy, and it was a notch above the Audio Note room at RMAF this year. Same loudspeakers. These are new loudspeakers, $3,200 loudspeakers. They were just singing. They were open and big, and the bass was slapping you in the chest. And I asked Dave Cope from Audio Note, "What's the difference?" He said the same speakers. He goes, "It was the amplifier." he had the 20-watt instead of the 10-watt amplifier. All the difference in the world brought the whole thing to life.
Yeah, it was really, it was beautiful stuff
It was
for
beautiful.
the first day.
It was beautiful on the first day. Yeah. So you'll see it in the clip, and we also have Vincent Belanger performing live. We did an audio track and recorded for you guys to listen to on the Audio Node system, a box suite for cello. And so I asked Vincent, do you have this in your repertoire? Absolutely, Peter. He sat down. He said, but I won't play it the same way. I'll play it better. So you'll hear that, and you'll hear that real cello in your room.
He's a gracious man, not only an
man.
excellent
Yep.
cellist.
Yep. Oh, another standout room for me was the Gershman Acoustics room. They had their $14,000 loudspeaker, the same speaker they had at the Capitol Audio Fest, and it was detailed and big and open and musical and had a giant soundstage. And you know, it's not that big in size. It's only about that tall. So it doesn't rob the room of space, and it doesn't knock you over with, oh my gosh, look at the size of that audio system. But it's the size of the sound it produced. It was really, I thought, extraordinary. So a big shout out to Gershman for a great exhibit this year at the New York show. How about another room?
Volti Audio.
Volti Audio.
With Vinnie, Rossi Electronics guys.
Yeah,
that was one quiet
room. That
room.
was one quiet room. When we walked in the room and the music wasn't playing and the air conditioner wasn't on, it was dead silent. I mean, you didn't hear anything. The first thing that came to me. Anything.
Is how quiet
anything.
The room was. Well, the reason for that is the electronics, right?
The electronics. Vinnie Rossi's amplifier. The Leo was, it's half off the grid. It has backing capacitors they charge up, and then that powers the amplifier. So you're really not connected to your wall outlet, and that makes all the difference in the world if you want quietness. And you mate that to the very efficient Vittoria speakers, and it produces wall-to-wall sound, and it was extremely involving. It was one of those sounds where, like a labyrinth, you just kind of wave your way into it, and it all comes around your head in the room. It was just it was beautiful, beautiful sound.
And Triode Pete was there.
Yeah, he was there.
Triode Wire Labs
Yep.
wired up that room.
Yep.
And it was nice to see these guys and their exhibit. It was very successful, I think.
Yeah, that was a really good room.
So congratulations.
Yep. Okay, let's try this again. This is my favorite part of the reviewer's view. What would I take home? I'll lead off with Terry. Terry, what one component would you take home?
I think it would be the Turbalin turntable in Bill DeMars's room.
Yeah, you'll see that in the video. It's bright red.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And we already have the Tube Guru Phonostage from Bill DeMars under review, so I'd like to hear that combination in this listening room here. Yeah,
we have. In fact, we brought it up to the show. We had it for a couple weeks before the show started, and then we brought it up for the show. So the show was there. So I have to just say, we will be taking that home with us because it's under review. So that's not going to count, though. Okay, this is my take-home piece. My take-home would be the Soulline turntable. And for $4,000, I am very curious how it's going to stack up against some of the major turntables on the market today. We've had some of the best turntables in the world in our system. Currently, the Kronos is, to me, the best overall turntable for pitch stability, speed, lifelike imaging, organic sense of spaciousness, and just a little extra something of life that I have not found in other turntables. So I would be curious to see how the Soulline comes, how close it gets to it, and it's only $4,000, so that would be my take home. Okay, so we're going to have lots of turntables. Yeah, it's going to be Turntable City. If all of our wishes come true, yeah. So a big shout out to Christine Ewan for organizing the show, and we'll see you at the next audio show. We'll be at CES next. So if you see us in the hallways, give us a high five. Peter Berninger reporting for AV Showrooms, and
Terry Arinci from AV Showrooms. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.